a mentor that's working so closely with a student that has such incredible talent at such a young age. I just can't speak enough about the work that she's doing. And maybe she can also share when she's ready the tablet that Jason has purchased for you. And just so you can see a little bit about the partnership they have. So Jason, do you want to speak?
Yep, I appreciate you guys allowing me to have Diane as a student. Great opportunity for her. She has been working on taking her art, which now is the portfolio that's being passed around, is sketches and pencil work, changing it over to digital work, importing it into a sign program or a production program, where she then can turn around, take her artwork and turn it into digital work.
Cool. So y'all get to see that.
I think Cheyenne being in 8th grade, I think it's phenomenal to have her to be able to come to our shop and learn hands-on like she is. I think it has helped Cheyenne tremendously. First thing was a little bit closed up, like she is now. But after getting to know her and working with her, she's opened up tremendously. And her skills are surpassing what I thought could even happen. Other than that, what else would you like to mention?
Well, I also would like to just mention that, you know, Elite Vinyl has done amazing things for her. We don't often have mentors that just suddenly just purchase this amazing piece of equipment. Cheyenne, can you just show them what they bought for you to work on?
Yeah, so she's working on a U1 tablet, which is basically all digital. So she can sketch, just like sketches on paper, but it's all done on the tablet now, which immediately transfers everything over to digital concept. So the Illustrator, familiar with that? You can go ahead and show it up. Yep, put it up. Oh,
No, that's okay. You can't.
So we'll just keep on going. So basically, it's a tablet and it lights up, and she can do all of her drawing on it. All the different brush strokes are there. Export capability. It's just state of the art program.
Yeah. So there people have questions that maybe you want to ask Cheyenne, because she's a little bit short right now. Any questions that you might want to ask her directly that I'm sure she'd be happy to answer?
Do you guys have any questions? Comments?
No, I mean, it's great that you can have that much talent at your age, be able to already apply it in a sense that benefits the community. It's great.
Yeah, your portfolio is really amazing. That was really awesome.
She's pretty awesome.
She's very talented.
Could I just add, you may see some of her artwork on Mrs. Leonard. She designed a tattoo for her.
Oh, wow, I've seen that on Facebook.
Actually on her.
On her, yes.
Yes, perfect.
Or on my front door, because she painted a sign for my front door. It needed refurbishing, and she did a phenomenal job with it. So she's not limited to just digital.
That's correct. I think
versatile
Cheyenne's end game, I'm going to call it, she wants to be a tattoo artist. And I think that's where it's going eventually. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cheyenne, do you want to speak at all to what your project might be? What you're thinking about doing? About the bands and how does that come?
We talked about doing the band, possibly asking them to redesign the horse. Let her up to date.
The cat's got her tongue right.
Yeah.
But she's got a pretty awesome idea for her project that she'd like to consider redesigning a bit of a logo or putting her a little spin on it, and then Elite would put the vinyl together and be able to wrap the bands and the driver's ed car with our own logo on it.
Oh,
so
wow, that's cool.
We're hoping that might be able to come to be by the end of the school year.
So she is working on some concept drawings that eventually we will come back to you guys and say, hey, this is what we have. Certainly take your guys' input as well, and then go back and do some redesign to it, and hopefully you know what it's.
April, you say you had something?
Yeah, I'm assuming you're really enjoying this.
Not just right now.
Right, not this, but that. That's really it, yeah. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, that is exciting.
I'm really happy that we have this program for kids like you and other kids that, you know, have already kind of know where they want to go with stuff, that might get some real world experience and stuff. So I'm really very happy for you.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And we have great mentors too, so we're very lucky to have a community.
Yeah, thank you.
Julia, did you have any questions or comments? No, great. This is wonderful. And thank you for bringing them. And it's always great when we have students come in. I know it's been a little weird with COVID. We haven't done nearly as much as we used to do. So it's wonderful. Thank you for coming and showing us.
Yeah,
Diane,
thank
do you
you.
want to give anything? We practiced.
Thank you for having me and listening.
What are you gonna give him? That she designed,
Oh,
that are gonna be on
cool.
t-shirts, is that for
Yep,
t-shirts?
they're gonna be on t-shirts as well eventually. This is all 100% her design. So she came up with this, and we'll go ahead and around and hand it out real quick.
You want help? Yeah, I'll help you. You go for it.
Yeah, we're not really that scary.
Yeah,
I
thank you very
promise I
much.
don't bite. I'm excited. Thank you.
Could you
Thank
put
you
one
very
on
much.
Sean's spot then too, and one for Julia?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for remembering that.
Thank you.
This is so cool.
That
Thank
is
you.
nice.
Wow.
Thank you.
This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean.
Hang in there. Yeah. Wait a minute.
Thank you.
That is cool.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Jeff, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank
you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck.
We hope to come back to you with some designs and hopefully you guys will consider maybe doing it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Julia, can I have one more so I want to stick it over here?
That's a good idea, yeah.
We're famous now, I told you.
See that?
Yeah.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Her signature is actually hidden in the room.
Yes.
In the, right under the eye and the letter.
Oh, yeah, I see
Oh,
it.
wow.
And it's written in Viking Road.
Nice.
No kidding.
Oh, wow.
Is that gonna be always your signature thing? Cool.
That's so neat.
All right, guys.
Thank you
Great,
very much.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Have a good holiday, everybody.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for coming. She's not like that. Just saying.
Yeah. She'll be better next time she comes, but she'll know us then.
Got this under her belt.
3 o'clock, she had this down with science, but
Yeah.
long time between 3 and 6.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
scary.
it is.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we have updates on COVID-19 related items. So Wayne.
So last month, I spoke to you about the surge that we had in November, and I'm here to tell you that this surge in December so far is much worse. We had 5 active cases in November that I reported out to the board meeting. Now we have 13. Keene State College has the highest numbers they've ever had. About a week ago, our state had the highest percentage per 100,000 in the country. Since then, I think we're number 5 now. So other northern states have joined us, but the spread is significant. And, we are meeting next Wednesday to talk about what we can do. We met with nurses yesterday to talk about some strategies to implement at the beginning of the year. The board's already approved the 6,000 out of ESSER for the nurse substitute, and Anne's lined someone up who I think will be here right after the new year, who's an RN and has got a lot of experience in school. So that's a very good thing. We'd also like to ask the board if you'd okay 10,000 for additional PPE out of our ESSER monies. Our masks are running a little lower than we thought, and we thought maybe by midwinter it wouldn't be wouldn't be running through the masks as fast as we are, but we're beginning to think that's not the case. Now, that would be an up to a number. We wouldn't hopefully spend it all, but then we wouldn't have to go back to you. We could write it in the grant, which we want to rewrite in December. So we think that would be important. We know the hospitals in the area are overwhelmed. Claremont's even worse than Cheshire Med, but Cheshire Medical, all the ICU beds, rooms are full. So it's pretty serious spread right now. I know that you've heard about the Omicron or Omicron out of South Africa. That's only, we have 5 days of data, but so far it looks like that will likely spread more quickly, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will be more serious. But there is it's like 37% less effective as far as the Pfizer vaccines against it. So that will likely not hit us until spring, but as fast as Delta moved through, it's like 99.9% of cases now. And given that in South Africa, the new variant is like twice already what the Delta was. So we anticipate that this is going to be with us for a while, but we think that basically kids are still better off in school than they are at home. We think the spread is less at school, and that's why there's a lot of research that's been done to suggest the safest place for students is in school, because we have mitigation strategies. We keep masks, the airflow. We've got good filtration now with our air. So we're doing a lot of great things, but we did have Thanksgiving recently, and people from all over got together. And obviously, if they're eating turkey dinner around the table, they're probably not masked up. And so we do have a spread right now. We are dealing with it. We're staying open. We're looking at, sometimes we have our principals in classrooms, but that's not every day. And I think, we've got a week and then a couple of days when we'll get a break over the Christmas, New Year's time. So we think things will likely get better. Ann plans to send something out before the holidays just to remind people that even though they're not in school, there's some things they can do to help mitigate the potential spread in our community. So definitely we're on the wrong end of the curve, and it's not just Hinsdale. It's not just Cheshire County or New Hampshire. It's like 45% increase in new cases across the country in the last week. So just a big spread, and you can probably blame Thanksgiving for the sudden surge. And we hopefully we're at the end of that, and we'll start to see some tail. It seems like almost everyone's been exposed. So how many more people can continue to catch it? So we hope that this is kind of the end of it, but we're preparing for a continuation in the new year. And we don't think the beginning of 2022 is going to be minus COVID. So we're preparing for that. So if we'll just go ahead and move with that 10,000 for PPE.
Yeah, you don't need
basically
to vote, right? You just need like a consensus.
Yeah, I just
right?
need to, if there's an issue, if there's someone that feels that that's not a good use of that ESSER money, we know the state will approve that.
Yeah.
That's guaranteed there. So, and then we would like 10,000, up to 10,000 for rapid tests. We're putting together a plan this would be, the nurse says, okay, here's a situation. Maybe a parent would be a real hardship. Maybe it's a staff member who's not sure, but thinks maybe it's one, those kinds of things where we want the ability to be able to manage a rapid test. We've been trying to find them, but we think we can get them. We just don't know when, but we'd like the authority to buy them out of our ESSER money. So that would be the two items up to 10,000. I really don't think.
We're going to try to get them for free, but
yeah,
we're just not sure yet.
So hopefully we won't use any of that 10,000 out of ESSER, but we would write that in as we're rewriting in December. If we don't use it, we can write it out in March, and then come with you something else. We just like the authority to go ahead and move without tapping our operations budget, which we'd rather not do.
So for us here, are we, everybody in favor of that? Those two up to 10,000 for those two items?
So it's not 10,000 each, it's 10,000 total.
No, up
No,
up to 10,000 each, but I really don't think, like Ann said, the rapid tests were here are free. And if this infrastructure bill gets through, the Build Back America, there'll be allegedly free mass all we want and free tests both. But for now, we just want to be able to move and make sure we get ahead of it and don't have to ask for an emergency board meeting or don't have to spend any of our district money on it, because this is definitely COVID. And that's what the
I
ESSER
don't have a
money's
problem with
for.
that. That's what it's meant for.
Julia?
Agreed. I think it's, yeah, I approve. I think it's a great idea.
Okay, great, thank you. I mean, we have four of us that, do you want to wait a second and explain it to Sean quick?
Yeah.
See what he thinks. I'm sure you'll agree.
So, John,
Nothing.
we were just talking about the COVID spread, the status, which is dire in our area. But we have a couple of things that we'd ask the board to approve up to 10,000 out of ESSER money. We don't think we'll need it, but we thought we'd write it in our December rewrite of ESSER 2 and 3. One is up to 10,000 for additional PPE, basically masks, because we're running out, and we didn't think we would be in this situation in midwinter, but we think we're likely going to need to continue with going through masks. So don't think we're going to need that much, but that's what the group suggested we put in an up to amount. And the other is for rapid tests, so that in the new year, if rather than send kids home with the sniffles, with all of this, if you've been in an elementary classroom in midwinter, it's rare that there isn't somebody sniffles or cough. So we'd like to be able to, not for everyone, but just when it seems based on our nurse's opinion to be a good use of that rapid test, we would do the rapid test. But we need to have money that we can attach out of our ESSER money to spend. And then if we get them for free, which we hope, we won't spend any of it. We'll come back with another request in the future. So those are the two items that you don't need a motion, but just want to make sure you're okay. And if you are, we'll write them in the grant in December over the holidays.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. So good. That's all of us. So go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much.
Does anybody have any questions for Wayne about the COVID update? Tim? Any questions?
No.
Julia? Do you have any questions? Sean?
I'm good.
The only thing I wanted to add, just because I've had a couple of parents in the last week or so, because we're not sending the message out, I've had to remind people when they ask me, how we're doing on cases, that, there's a tracker on the website and whatever. So just to remind people, if they're watching this, that there's a tracker and it gets updated when we have cases. And I think today was the first day in December that we didn't get notified of cases. So it did, so far in December, we've had 14, we've had every day but today, and 72 overall. So, but I am directing people to that because they tend to forget where it is. So.
And we are about 10% higher at the elementary than, as far as the pie, than we are at the middle high school. So it's still more of an elementary, and it's mostly clustered in families. If you were to look at those 72, you'd see that they don't represent 72 families. They probably represent 30 or 40 families, but still, it's a huge number. Never expected it to be that high.
No, and like you said, Thanksgiving is definitely with what's driving this surge. So, all right. So if nobody has any more questions for Wayne, then we'll go on to winter sports. So Sam and Ann and Wayne, I guess, whoever.
So since last time we met, I've had 2 AD meetings, both in person. There is also a spreadsheet going around with everybody's protocols on them. The first thing, I'd like to make a couple changes to our protocols. I know right now when I proposed it in November, we weren't using locker rooms. We had a team come from Newmarket. We have teams coming 2.5 hours away. They're coming in their uniforms, in their shorts, freezing cold. We're one of 2 schools that aren't offering locker rooms. So what I would like to propose is that we open up the locker rooms for the visiting school. And then we will put our high school or our teams in the cafeterias. So if we could open up our locker rooms, that would be wonderful.
What was your second?
The second one is the mask thing. I know we said we revisit it. Right now, ourselves, Pittsfield, and Mount Royal Academy are the only ones wearing masks in our division. Mount Royal, Molten Borough is going to wear them. Pittsfield is wearing them for the time being due to the cases in their school. What I would propose is that possibly we can do the same thing and put a number on it. And if we are under that number, then our kids participating on the floor. So in the rectangle on the floor against the other 5 kids from the other school do not have to wear masks. Spectators, kids on the bench, and coaches would have to wear masks.
All right, anybody have questions for Sam on those proposals?
And I have a number in my head,
Okay, what's that?
2 in this building, in the high school.
2 on the team, you mean?
2 in the middle high school, in middle high school students,
School.
Oh, I see, okay.
not on the team.
Not on the team.
Just in the middle high school as a whole. If we are under 2 active cases, then the kids can play.
And that's students or students and staff? Because we said students, but,
Students and staff, is not, as long as it's an active cases,
okay, so under 2 active cases, no masks, is what you're saying?
just while participating.
Yeah, like on the, yeah, okay. I just want to make sure I'm making the notes right, so yeah. Okay, anybody have questions? We'll start, I guess, on April. You're going to get started everything tonight, because
Great.
to my right.
Yay.
If you don't mind.
Right. What's our protocol once the team leaves the locker room?
They just come in the gym. So
But like, are we going into the locker room and, I don't know, the janitors do
we
that?
can sanitize.
Okay.
Yeah, when we used to use locker rooms, this is before pre-COVID, obviously. The janitors would go down every night after the game and they clean them and sanitize them and that kind of stuff. So we follow the same thing with having a janitor go down after the team.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Jim?
So the masks during games, what about during practice?
What I would do if they're actively participating in practice, they don't have to have them
On the floor?
on the floor, just on the floor. Obviously, if they're doing a team huddle or coaches going over a drill, they would have to put their masks on. But if they're actively in drill, like a 3-on-2, 2-on-1, whatever, when they're running up and down the floor or doing their wind sprints, they don't have to have them on.
Okay, so we're monitoring the cases every day? It'd be like a daily thing?
What we suggested is that we would monitor them daily, and by noontime, we would know how many active cases we had, so we make a decision at noontime.
So this would be a daily thing with you? Yeah, okay.
I update the COVID dashboard every day. I mean, it's every day we look at it.
Yeah, I'm talking, and just want to get a
Yeah,
clarification on
but,
what their plan is.
Anne would have to get that information from me to do.
So are you saying that noon would be an okay
Yeah,
time, or
yeah.
are you disagreeing with that?
No, I'm agreeing with it. I
Oh,
think it's an okay time. I was just trying to explain how she
Okay.
would get that information.
All right, as long as Ann has the information that conveys it the same and they agree, I'm okay with that, it's done. I think.
Sean?
I am fine with the locker rooms. I am not as fine with the no masks. I think that we're on the wrong side of the numbers there, and would prefer to stay with masks right now. We saw the spike after Thanksgiving. I am certain we'll see the spike after Christmas, New Year's. I'm fine with revisiting it every single month, but that's just my opinion. So I'm fine with the locker rooms, and I would prefer to continue with the masks.
Julia?
I am fine with the locker rooms as well. I'm also fine with the mask as long as it's 2 to include staff, active cases in the entire building. I think that's a manageable number, but I wouldn't want to go any higher than that.
Okay. Okay, and then, and I'm fine with the locker rooms, and I imagine too, you said our team would be in the cafeteria, so they sanitize the cafeteria too.
Correct.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. And the gym would get sanitized too, right after a game, so anywhere anybody's been. I have a couple of questions about the mask, well, in general about the plan. So last year, and I tried to, because I thought of this today and I wasn't at home, so I had to look it up on the website. And I tried to go back and pull up last year's plan on the website, and actually this might be a Deb question. You know how you have the news announcements? When you click like for second page, next, it doesn't do anything. Okay, so there was no way to go back and look at that. Okay, should it? Like it should, right? Like you should be able to go back and look at older stuff. Why have 2, 3, 4, 5, page 10 if you can? Okay.
It is not working. That is correct.
Oh, okay, it's just not working. Oh, okay, okay. I wasn't.
You are correct, it is not working.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when you said that if it wasn't supposed to work. Okay, good. Okay, good. So I couldn't go back and look. So I might be wrong about remembering last year's plan because I couldn't look at it. But didn't we say last year, it was in the plan that if like if there's somebody on the team test positive, right, that you would let the other AD of the team coming know, and vice versa, they would do the same thing. I didn't see that in this proposal.
Yeah, I should have put it in there, but it happens. Like,
Okay.
we had 3 games in the fall that were postponed or canceled due to the other school cases, or they had COVID on their team, so we did not play them.
Oh, okay.
The NHIA is doing it differently this year, and I think we need to be cognizant of that as well, is that if you cannot play the contest by the last day of play, then your team points. It's unfortunate, but it is, you can't cram the games in past the last day to play.
Yeah.
So I should have put that in the plan, and I apologize for not doing so.
Oh, no, it's okay. That's why we're all, got 5, 10 sets of eyes looking at it. So no, that's perfectly fine. And yeah, and obviously I'm okay with the locker room piece too. And obviously, I do have concerns about the no masking because it is a high risk activity. So, and I understand other schools, you had the AD meeting and because I've looked at a couple of them. I have a friend whose daughter plays in Monadnock, and her daughter told her previously that they were wearing masks to play, and then today she got an email saying they changed their mind. So that it's totally optional. Like if you're there at all, except you're, for players and coaches and refs, which is really, I think, a little out there. But so I understand that, but what I don't understand, and not just us, but the other people you're talking to, the other ADs, is all along, and I know other schools have said this, but all along we have said we would follow the prevailing medical advice. We follow the CDC and we'd follow New Hampshire Department of Health and Human Services. And unless it's changed, which I haven't looked at it since last month, but the toolkit, which is one of the guiding documents we used to come up with the reopening plan, said close contact sports are high risk activity. They even suggested, and they used the word suggested, this was in August or September, that soccer wear them. And we said, we didn't agree with that because it's outside. So it was just a suggestion. But if that's a high risk activity, singing and playing musical instruments are high risk activity, and they need to be masked and distanced. And just to sit in class, you need to be masked. I don't understand the thinking that if it's a high risk aerosol activity, that's okay for kids to be close contact, spreading aerosols, going. And I understand it's a lot of running around. I have friends who have kids in marching bands all, last year, March, and playing shows, and it's a lot of wind because I was in marching band in my younger days and they were masked. So I get it. Our gym classes use masks. We're going to send kids to other schools. I know you said Mount Royal, which is in Sunapee, I believe, wear masks. Sunapee, I looked at their website, they don't. And right now their test positivity rate is 19.7%. Ours is 6.4. So Sunapee has a crazy amount of community transmission. And we're going to be sending kids there to run around and breathe in the same air as people in Sunapee. So I appreciate all the work everybody's doing. I understand, what other schools are doing. But I just cannot, in good conscience, say that we care about safety and tell kids to sit in class, you need to wear a mask. But this one group, which are the basketball team, are the only people on the whole campus that don't have to wear masks, and they're engaging in a very high-risk activity. So, yeah, I can't, in good conscience, I would have to vote no if that's the proposal. So what, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna ask your opinion because that's not fair, but that's my thoughts. So, I don't know, any other thoughts from the administration?
I have a, excuse me, a couple of concerns. One of them is that our kids are crazy about basketball. I'll never forget a girl in middle school saying, the only reason I come to school is so I can play basketball.
Oh, yeah, I've had
You know,
kids tell
so
me that
it's-
about bands,
you
so
know-
I get it.
yeah, You know
Yep.
the passion, and my concern is if it becomes uncomfortable here with the mask on, these kids will say, you know, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna go play someplace else where I don't have to wear one, and we won't have any buy-in or control of what those kids are doing off campus if they're playing basketball someplace else. So I think the NHIAA has not done us a favor here. I think, I agree with you that they're not giving us the guidance that we needed.
Well, the
And-
state is,
and
the NHIA
And
is
the
not.
fact that
Yeah.
only 2 teams in our
Yeah.
our league are wearing them, it's like, what are they thinking? I don't know, Sam.
Yeah, I just, like I said, and it just in response to what you said, and I think that was similar to what we were saying about letting the rec play here, was they would go to Swansea and play, but we're requiring masks for them. So it's kind of the same thing, but we are requiring masks for them. I don't know, it's just difficult because of what other teams are doing. I think it's a no-brainer for safety, but it's
And the other
Yeah.
variable, of course, is how many of these kids have been vaccinated, that we don't really know. I mean, we're not asking everybody, we're not, that's, kind of a HIPAA thing, but,
yeah, it's really not, but yeah,
but, are they all vaccinated? I can't answer that.
probably not. Yeah.
I know many of them are.
Yep.
And I know that I would say all but possibly one are on the girls' basketball. So I know that they are vaccinated because they thought that they would get them out of masks.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm also concerned about what's the message that it's sending. That these parents who came in here were very angry with us about their kids sitting in class wearing masks. We're telling them that basketball is a special class of people, right? And so, or basketball, hockey, I don't know, whatever you want to say. Whoever you say now, band and choir don't have to wear masks because they're high risk. Well, we would make them a special group for no good reason. So, but those are just my thoughts. I don't know how we want to make the motion because we had to let the plan go forward with that tweak. So I'm not quite sure, Wayne, how the motion.
Tweak that we were gonna revisit it today, basically.
Yeah, the tweak it and then, yeah, with the mask and then revisit mask and then Sam's other proposal with the locker rooms. Thank you. So I'm not sure how the motion.
Well,
should
you
be
could
worded.
separate them two different motions. The locker room sounds like, and then, was the masks in your original plan as,
It was not, and then they amended it and put it in.
Right.
okay, so currently it's in.
Currently, it's
So you wouldn't need to make that motion. You just need to make the locker room motion.
No, currently it's no masks.
Oh,
Yes, currently
currently-
it's no masks because
currently
we
it's
put it in
masks.
just
Currently
for
it's
the month.
masks.
So currently it's masks.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
we put it in
yeah,
last
you're right.
month.
I'm sorry. This is why I asked because I wanted to make sure we
proposal
got,
was that
you're right.
no masks
Right.
were participating.
You're right, you're
The
right.
board made the amendment to keep the masks
On,
on, and then we're
yes.
gonna revisit it now.
Thank you, thank you. That's why I asked, just to make sure. I do have one actual question that reminded me. You said that you don't wear masks in practice if you're participating. And this might just be a term that I wasn't matching all up. It said during, oh, now I'm not gonna be able to find it. Hold on a minute.
They currently
Training
wear masks.
sessions, it says that they would wear masks. What is a training session?
Those are practices,
Okay,
fancy word practice.
okay, so you're saying that should not happen, or it's happened some of the time, but not if you're right?
But not when you're actively participating.
Okay.
So not when you're running up and down the floor, but if coach is there and all the kids are together and they're talking about, a drill or having a conversation as a team, that they would have to do.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's clear where you say then somewhere in here about you differentiate with actively participating. Okay. Okay, if somebody wants to make a motion of some sort.
I'll make a motion to open up the locker rooms to visiting teams.
I'll
To make
second.
that amendment to the plan.
Okay, so a motion and a second, further discussion on the locker rooms. Okay, all those in favor of that amendment to the plan, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, okay.
Julia?
Aye.
Well, thank you, Sean, thank you, Julia. I'm just not gonna ever get the hang of that, sorry.
That's all right.
All right, so then we just need a motion then on the second piece, which is masks.
To approve it, to prove making it different than it is currently.
Yeah, to accept Sam's proposal to not wear masks while actively participating. Right? That would be the motion?
As
Because,
long as there's
No.
under two.
Like two or
active
less.
cases.
Yeah,
Is it
to
two or
active-
less or under two?
2 or less.
two, so if it's two, you still don't wear them. If it's three, you do. Okay, so 2 or less. Yeah.
I'm very torn. Mind you. Because I can see both sides of it.
Yeah, this whole COVID has been so
I know,
it's difficult,
COVID
you know, it's
stinks.
just, yeah.
I would make a motion to approve the change. I don't know how you word that.
To his proposal?
Yes.
I'd like to hear the wording of the motion, please.
How do you say that? I would like to make a motion to change the
Per protocol.
protocol
Um,
to active participation with two or less cases. The people on the floor would not have to wear a mask.
correct.
Is that right?
I don't know.
It's my motion.
So then, if that's,
We need a second, right?
yeah, I was just making sure you were done with, okay,
Yeah, I
so
think
then we
that's
just need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? I think I've said enough.
It's tough. I mean, with the cases the way they are right now, going in the
Mhm.
spread that's happening, it's tough to say that right now, yeah. I mean, what are our cases right now in the school?
13 active.
13. So the likeliness, you know,
Mhm.
of us being under 2 anytime soon is fairly low.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many, I'd have to look on the tracker, how many it is active at the middle high. I'm not sure.
Right now.
I'd have to look. Eight, okay. I mean, my big thing besides that it's not safe is the disparity of it, because we could have people at our January meeting, we could have those same parents here saying, well, why are my kids wearing a mask to
Right.
sit in class? And we'll say, we have no good answer for you,
Mhm.
you know, because high risk cases are allowed to not wear masks. So high risk activities. So that's my big concern. But, so any further discussion, Julie?
I said, yes, that's a very valid point. It's a very, very tough situation to be in, and I think we're all sick of having to make these tough decisions.
Yeah, with little guidance from the state, although they
Right,
have
I know this has been terrible, no
Yeah.
I
guidance.
know.
I mean, they do have clear guidance that it's a high risk activity, but then we have conflicting guidance from the governing body of sports, you know?
Right, I know, it's been
So
a
it's rough.
challenge.
All right, so any further discussion, or the motion and a second? Okay, if there's no further discussion, then all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any more ayes? I don't want to cut anybody off. All right, opposed?
No.
No,
Jim, were you a no?
I'm a no.
Okay, so then that's 2 ayes, 3 noes, and so I imagine then it just stays the same for that piece, so it's masks. And I mean, and thank you, and we'll revisit it every month and look at this, you know, the spread. I imagine January probably won't be much better because of Christmas.
Right.
If Thanksgiving did this, Christmas is gonna make it worse. But thank you, Sam. I know you know, you probably are not happy, but thank you for putting the time in and coming to share us and talking it through with us. Thanks. All right, next up is timeline of hiring committees for middle high school principal and technology director. So Wayne and Anne.
Yeah, the principal search committee, you see the list of committee members, and you also see dates. We wanted to get this, be okay to get this started. I would like to add the director of curriculum instruction and assessment to this list, if the board's okay.
For both?
No, just for the
principal?
Yeah, so if that timeline is okay, and I think we had agreed on the membership makeup, we'll, you know, get something out so that we get a list of community members, teachers interested, you know, and then that when we get the known committee members together the first time, we'll select, make recommendations. The other option is bring it all to the board, but I think the timeline would be better if we just got the committees together and then said, here's our list of folks, and then the committee can say, here are the people we need, because we'll have a chance to get the priorities together and the criteria. So that's all, the only addition. And then if you can approve the timeline, we'll get going. So Friday, the 7th of January, the ads would begin to appear. And we wouldn't hire until our March meeting, but hopefully by then we have a strong candidate. We vet them, you know, parent group, student group, and obviously they come to the board.
I have a couple questions. I'm just gonna, usually I'll pass around, but I just want to start since I'm on the committee. So I just want to ask my questions quickly. So I was thinking about it, and I remember, well, first this summer, we had 2 board members on all the committees for the admin stuff. And I was thinking back to when, I don't remember the last principal search committee for the middle high, but I do remember at the elementary, we had 2 board members when we hired Anne for the elementary principal a decade ago. Was that long ago? And it was myself and Gina, and actually Sean was on that committee.
I was on that one as a parent.
But he was a parent, so that's where I first got introduced to Sean. But so I would like to propose if we could add another board member on the committees, then that way it's just that easier with scheduling, you know, because it is a kind of a tight, once you're getting together and you go to the other school, you know what I mean? Just how, I mean, we've done it like that way in the past with principals. So
I don't know why we end up with one. I think it's our SAU manual.
The last meeting you said who was going to be on the committee, so that's why I only put one on there.
Yeah, I think I'd have to look at my packet. I think the suggestion was one, just because it's not in the SAU manual that spells it out. Yeah. So I think, but just in thinking about it more.
So the board's okay. I'm certainly okay. In order for someone to succeed, they obviously need board support, and the more board advocacy they have, you know, in other words, if you feel like you're part of the selection at the ground level, you're more likely to be an advocate, I think. So I think as far as best practice, 2 board members would be better than 1, but
okay,
it's your call.
Yeah, what do you guys think about that?
I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with that.
I agree. I would agree.
I'm sorry?
I would agree.
Thank you. There was just a ding dong right in the middle of what you were talking. So I missed it. All right. So if and do we have anybody interested? I know Jim is on the tech one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be interested in it.
Sean or Julia. I know.
I can't do any more, so it's all open for you guys.
And Julia, I think, you know, we had maybe this more of an issue than our other issue we talked about last month with.
Oh, right. Understood. Yeah. I would certainly be happy to be on the committee, but I'm sure that there would be some conflict with that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So is everybody okay with April?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we need a vote on that, or?
Yeah, if you want to just approve the committee as amended, which would include 1 other board member, you know, the board member April, and then include the CIA, and you know that person Karen. So.
Okay, so we can make that motion.
So make the motion to amend the committee member makeup to include 1 additional board member.
And the curriculum instruction assessment.
Yeah.
Yep. Second, we need a second.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, a couple things. The the years are all wrong after February 28th.
Oh,
Sorry, I
That's-
tried to
that's
catch them
right.
all. There's one that says 2000.
oh, 2011, yeah.
Wow.
And then also that same line, it doesn't really say anything. It just says there's something happening. On
Yeah, I
one
have
side.
that note too. I presume that's interviews.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, it's interviews, I'm sorry, but,
Okay.
you
No problem.
I was copying and pasting.
Yeah. Any other discussion about the proposed timeline?
I just have a question, and I don't know if it's really necessarily in the timeline itself or if it's just a general question, but when we did the assistant principal search over at the middle high school, we had kind of polled the students a little bit to ask what they kind of wanted to see in like a new assistant principal. Is there any thought to doing that
It says
with,
here
with
we're gonna,
the principal?
interviews will include a panel of students. Is that sort of the same thing, or do you think those?
Is it the same thing? You tell me, because I don't
'cause
know.
wasn't on-
I don't know if it is.
I wasn't on that committee for assistant principal, so I'm not sure what that looked like. Anne?
We did poll them and we used some of their ideas for questions, so you might want to, that's not a bad idea to do a student survey first, and then when you generate your questions, look at what they're looking for.
I found it helpful for that. I think we all did on that.
Yeah.
So that would just have to get done before February 28th, because that's when we're meeting to determine questions. So you guys can, whoever did that for the vice principal search, I don't know how that worked.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just got the information. I wasn't any part of creating.
Through our advisory program, so advisors
Oh, cool.
solicited the information and sent it to me, I think.
Okay, that's a great idea. Anything else?
No.
Jim?
I'm good.
April, do you have any other thing?
No.
Julia, did you have any other?
All set.
Thank you. I had just two other quick things. So we're going to put an ad out for community members. What about for the two teachers reps? I know we talked last year and the year before about putting out emails for teachers to serve on committees, and rather than handpicking that, like administration handpicking them. So is there going to be an email that goes out to teachers to see who may be interested?
So
Okay.
a couple ways to do that. The first way, of course, we get a message out to all teachers saying, here's the timeline. If you're interested, you want to serve as a committee, let us know. Then the known committee members would choose, that's one way, from that list. The other way is that it goes to the board, non-public, the board picks them. That's two ways to do it.
What do you guys think?
I prefer to have the board pick
The
them.
board, okay. What do you think?
I'm-
Oh yeah, you don't have the background we have.
Right,
with
yes.
this,
I'm
Yeah,
okay with that.
yeah. Julia?
I'm fine with the board picking.
All right, so that sounds good. So if that happens in,
Probably
Oh.
February.
yeah, if you send it out, yeah, well, the ad for the community members January, and then we can, yeah, wherever you do it, we can talk about it in February at our board meeting and make the decision. Okay, that's a good idea. And then I seem to remember, I think it was with the last principal search, the middle high. I don't remember necessarily with the elementary, but I could be wrong. And Anne would know, she were involved. I think we interviewed the finalists in public session at a board meeting, right? Okay, and I don't see that here. I mean, I think that's important.
So maybe we just throw that in at the March meeting rather than just the election with in the committee's conversation, we meet with the finalists.
We can, the Wednesday, March 16th is an additional meeting to your regular meeting. So we can have the interviews at the regular meeting.
Which is what, the week before that or
Yeah,
something?
week before.
Okay,
Because there's so much going on at the March meeting, I didn't want,
yeah,
because it's right before town meeting.
right before town meeting, yeah. So wait, so can you repeat that? So
The March meeting is, the 16th is the third Wednesday. So if you wanted to interview them in open session, you could do it the 9th.
the 9th, okay. Yeah, so I mean, we could just make it as light of an agenda as possible, like no
Yeah.
policies and whatnot.
And then you'd interview candidates and then they'd come into visit the schools and all that kind of stuff? Is that,
Typically, they do, the finalists only.
Yeah, would
Yeah.
come in, yeah.
so you'd interview like three, let's say 3 finalists, and then at the March 9th meeting? And then they would come in and visit the schools, or do you want to move this timeline up?
What do you guys think?
I think, well, we're gonna have our finalists by the March 9th meeting. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I think so, because we're gonna do interviews the week before. So I think, yeah, we would have the finalists. We're gonna be doing interviews on the 2nd, so the Wednesday before that, our March meeting.
And then they would come the 14th to 15th to visit the school.
Yeah, we would interview them on the 9th, in
makes
public
sense.
session, and then those 2-3 finalists would come to the schools, that next week. Yeah, and then we would still have the, meeting to approve of them. And then there was, where the committee members visit the candidates' current schools. Have we done that before? I don't remember doing
I've done
that.
it.
Have you?
I did it as a board member. We have done it when we've been lucky, we've had internal candidates for the past, but when I went to the school that John Hartnett was on, and we also went to the school that John Sullivan was at that time. And it's just something that was in there. I mean, it's not that, and you'd only have send like 1 or 2 people. You wouldn't send
The whole,
committee.
because I just don't remember the 2 principal searches I was on doing that. And we did have some outside candidates, but I just don't remember that. But that could have just been a decision at that time,
It was really helpful. I think I was on the John Sullivan visiting committee at his school, and just to hear, he wasn't with us the whole time, just listening to kids and other adults in the building without the candidate right there. It's interesting.
I would think
You
it would
also
be
get a
helpful.
flavor of the building that you don't get, when they're right here. Just throwing that out. That's not what I got when I was on John Sullivan visit.
All right, no, I just hadn't seen, that's why I'm fine with it. I just hadn't seen that, before in the 2 ones that we've only had 2 in the time I've been on the board, so. All right. Yep, so my questions are answered, and those extra pieces there, if everybody's in agreement with those, how's that all sound?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay, so then, we did have a motion in a second, right? We got a little off track there. Did we have a motion about this yet?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, so then all those in favor of approving the timeline for the principal search and the changes, amended with all these changes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Julie?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, great. All right, now we get to do it again on the other side here. So technology director, so who would like to be the other board member on that? We have Jim. So either Sean or Julia.
I'll do it.
Okay,
No,
Sean's shaking his
no,
head
thank
no, and she's right behind you putting your hand up. So that works out well. Thank you, Julia. That was a pretty funny visual. Like, nope.
Ollie, may I recommend that we add the VA for this job because there's just a lot of cross.
Yeah, and that's actually on there near the bottom.
Yeah.
But good thought.
Oh,
Yeah. That's okay.
dang, I guess I forget that one.
That's okay. All right, so does anybody have any questions? Or, I just have the same comment about an email to the teachers to get the representatives there. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, because I know there's been other things that have come up where they're handpicked and some that are emailed, and I know we were pretty adamant like 2 years ago that we wanted emails. Remember, Sean?
Yeah, so we can just say with this
Yeah.
one too, we want to pick the people.
Yeah, and then the
You
board
know,
decides. Yeah, so we'll just handle it the same way. It's all in the same kind of schedule. So this one's a little less involved. So
Do you want to add the March 9th? I mean, I don't think you need to interview.
I don't think, I don't think
I don't think we need to have the public interview with
No.
this position.
I don't think so. I think it could be more like some of the other ones from this summer, Yeah, good question though, Ann. Thank you. I mean, if everybody seems like they're in agreement on that.
Yeah.
So. All right, so we're amending it to include Julia. And just.
I will say that I will not be in town on March 16th. So if that's critical for me to be there.
I don't think so, because that's when we're gonna receive the nomination from Wayne, so you would be on the committee, so.
I will have, right, I would have already made my right point. I just wanted to point that out as I'm looking here. I'm like, oh shoot, March 16th, I won't be here, but I can participate in everything else.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so if there's no more discussion on that, then all those in favor of approving the Technology Director Search Committee timeline as amended, say aye.
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 Oh, I'm sorry, thank you, Julia. Just get it in there, don't wait for me to ask.
That's
you.
all right. I figure if I yell loud enough, you'll hear me.
Exactly. Anybody opposed? Okay, great, thank you.
I'm sorry, did anybody leave a motion on that?
We did, right? It was, oh my God, maybe we didn't.
You didn't. I don't
Yeah,
have
we
it
did.
on either.
Thank you,
so.
Paul, geez.
So I'll make the motion.
It's
And I'll second.
Jim and Sean. Oh, man, thank you guys. I know, I was gonna, I'm sorry. All right, thank you. Thank you, Anne and Wayne, for working on this. Oh my gosh, now the fun one. Budget.
I've got some goodies for you. You should be getting 3 things from me, so you have it. So if you're not getting 3 things, please holler.
Yeah, no, I drilled in it. It's not supposed to amount to anything though, so an inch or so. Look at it here.
Yeah, Julia has hers. Yeah. Easier now. I was getting smaller. So you can see we've done some difficult work and we've done some paring down. And I'm very pleased that we were able to get the budget down to the 13,996 number, which represents a 3.66% increase. The sheets that I've given you out are exactly what's in your book. You've got the summary by, let's call it department, if you will. You've got the budget that you're used to seeing, which shows you all of the prior years. And then the last one with the grid lines is the detail behind all of the numbers so that you can, if you have questions on some of the lines, you can refer to the detail to get some answers. I just want to say that a lot of work went into this, and I think that it was a real team effort. I'm kind of pleased that we were able to get it to where we are. It is a challenge. Costs are rising. Transportation costs and energy costs in particular
So it's very much a challenge.
And it's down quite a bit from the very first look that the finance committee had a couple days before the school board had their first look. So, you guys have suggested cuts, the board suggested cuts, so. All right, so any questions? Give you a second to look stuff over, and then anybody has any questions, just jump in.
I think it reflects all of the changes that we discussed last week.
Yeah, I think so. That number, just check it. I'm pretty sure you're right. I know you're right. You're right. Yeah. I just remember I wrote it down. What, remember you come up with the number?
When I did the quick math,
Yeah, when you did the quick
Yeah,
math.
how close is it to you, Sean?
I don't have last month's notes
last
with
week's,
me,
yeah.
so week, month.
I think it's pretty,
It's
all
pretty
the
close.
same.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
close to his.
This does include all of the increases for the SAU staff.
Mhm.
This, so that's in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little higher than I think Sean's quick math, but his quick math was quick math.
But it was quick math.
So, yeah.
Well, the difference might have been, I had to include Social Security and Medicare and
Oh,
retirement
yeah,
benefits on the.
That kind of makes
on the
sense.
increase,
'Cause,
so-
yeah,
Yeah, I
that-
wouldn't have had
because
any
it's
of
not a
that.
big difference.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't
No,
have had
so
any of
that does
that.
make sense. So your quick math was very close.
But, we started at 14,234 and we're at 13,996 now. So, as I said, it was very much a team effort, between the administration, the A-team, the school board. We really, everybody put their heads together.
I mean, and I know, obviously, that's not what needs to be raised, just appropriated, and I didn't look at last year's to see, I wanted to check the MS-27 and I forgot today. I know we'll have that number for the budget committee too, of what exactly it is, we won't know until later, right after revenues, but do you remember what it is normally that we actually raise?
Are we around 7?
I was
I think
gonna
it's
say,
about
I was gonna say it
yeah.
was 7 or 8 million, even though this
It's in
shows
that
like
ballpark,
13,
yeah.
yeah. So it's quite a big chunk, and plus we're always getting, and even, we didn't get that one grant that you hand delivered to Concord. So, I know, but thank you for hand delivering it on a holiday. But, anyway, so. All right, any questions? No? Julia, any questions? Do you have any questions? No, yeah, it definitely reflects what we kind of beat to death last week, so. I will say, so we had a budget meeting and April can jump into anytime she was there as well, last night, and, so I told them that we were going to be, finalizing the budget tonight, and that it would be, I thought I remember from our discussions that it would be available to them Monday, but, whatever's good, I'm for you guys to make the copies.
Well, if there are no changes, I'm more than happy to make the copies whenever.
Okay, so what do you guys think with, so you just have to make the copies, it could even be available like tomorrow at some point?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
yeah,
I have no problem making the copies
or
tomorrow,
what's
Friday,
Friday,
Friday?
because, yeah,
just in case.
just in
Okay.
case.
Oh, okay, I mean, you won't be here, but Ann will be here for them to pick it up. Okay, yeah, so, let me know,
And so,
just for sure, when you're done with the copies, and I can let Dennis know, and he was gonna come and pick them up. And they just need, 9 copies, because April and I don't need, obviously,
9
copies, so it's
Right.
9 of them.
and 9 copies of all 3 of these things?
Plus the other backup that,
Yeah, plus
The
the
other
other
backup
stuff,
of
like,
the-
that's why I want to talk.
Yeah, good point.
yeah, you guys to work it out. I know, some years we gave binders, we didn't get binders. them, so I mean,
I think they just need copies.
I can put it in a manila folder or something.
Well, and I want to make a spacer.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Yeah.
the dividers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't get those for the town either, so we had to go get our own, but that's fine too, but yeah, I mean,
So it'll take it like Friday.
yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so if you can just shoot me an email and then I'll just let Dennis know and that he can pick them up by whatever time, you know. And he was gonna pick up, it sounded like he was gonna pick up everybody's
I
and
think he
deliver
was
them, right?
gonna- Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Dennis is gonna pick them up and deliver them. And thank you guys, all of you guys, for all of your hard work, and the board as well. So we just need a motion.
If we could have a motion to approve the 13,998,443.23 for the proposed operating budget, 22-23. And obviously that won't be likely the final number, but that gives us something in writing that we can kind of track it.
I'll
Well,
make that motion.
Are we approving moving it onto the budget committee or?
Yeah,
Because
Moving
we
it to the
still
budget.
vote on it and I still have, I mean,
Oh, yeah, we've.
it's better, but my concerns from last week are all still very much there,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, we still vote on it.
Okay, because I'm
and
okay passing it on to the budget committee, but not like approving it as any kind of.
No, yeah, no, this is just to, when I say finalize, I guess that's not quite the right word, but to
Okay.
finalize
This
for
is
them.
our proposed.
Yeah, to
budget
pass
to the
along to
budget.
the
All right.
budget committee. Yeah, because we can alter out.
Well, yeah, that's
next
why I'm
month
saying, that's
and
why
up
when it
until-
was like
up until-
finalized, it's like, whoa, no.
Yeah, up until the hearing, yeah, so. Yeah, and if you make it clear that to push it on, to move it on to the budget committee.
Paul has it now.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Did you make the motion?
No, April
I
made a
Oh, you
motion.
did? Okay.
I will second it.
Okay, thank you.
The
I
motion
really
is to
need a
pass it
second.
on to the budget committee.
Yeah,
Yes.
this amount.
Then
to
I,
budget
then
committee.
I will make, I will second that motion.
Okay, further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Julia?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Great, thank you all. Next up, we have policy update, final reading of policies DAF, EBCA, ECAF, EEA, and EEAA, and EEAB.
Make a motion to accept those policies as a final reading.
Second.
Any discussion on those? Okay, all those in favor of accepting those as a final reading, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. And then just need a motion to accept as a first reading EEAE, EEAER, EEAG, FAA, and GBCD.
I'll make a motion to accept those policies as a first reading.
Second.
Any discussions about those? No? Okay, all those in favor of approving those as a first reading, say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you, Julia. Opposed? Okay. All right, any other business? Does anybody have any other business?
I had one thing.
Okay.
Actually, two things, sorry. So I was wondering if any of the board members attended the legal Zoom. After that, I wasn't able to do it.
I got the PowerPoint because I had a doctor's appointment, but I did hear there were technical issues.
We're gonna,
Oh, the staff one? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we requested that the board get the link, just because parents are going to other boards, yeah.
I sent it, but there was issues, and we're gonna be doing it
Okay.
because of the issues.
No specific timeline.
Yes. No, not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
December 15th.
Oh, you did?
When is
Okay,
it?
I didn't know that.
December 15th at 3:30.
At 3:30.
And as soon as I get that information, I'll send it out.
Oh, okay.
And Patty passed along the PowerPoint to me because I couldn't make it. So if anybody wants the PowerPoint, if you can't make it, you know, I could send it to you, or if you want
Yeah,
to
I'll take
Patty, either way. Do you want me to send
I'll
it out?
take it, yeah.
Do you want me to send it to you, Ann, and you can just send it to the board? The
I have it.
PowerPoint? You already have, could you just send it then?
Yeah.
All right,
That'd be
awesome.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then my second thing was from November, I should have mentioned this at the last board meeting, but Hinsdale Education Foundation gave out mini grants, and we got a thank you note from the life skills class for funding a field trip that they took. So Ann got that thank you note. So thank you to the students for responding with a thank you note.
Great. Thank you, Jim. Anybody else with other business? No? No? Okay. Financial report, you again.
Again, you've seen my report. Are there any questions?
Any questions, Mr. Jody, on the monthly report? Julia, any questions?
No, I'm all set, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jody. Thank you. Next up is curriculum. Karen?
Thank you. You have our report. I did want to add also that we will be asking to move $10,000 of the for NHLI training to continue our base work with our teachers. We've scheduled with them for the for the PLC leaders. That's what we'd like to use. I don't really need to vote on that.
No, it just need to make sure that there's no one who objects, and then we can talk about just out of the ESSER funds, out of the ESSER 3, rather than the budget, we would up to 10,000 that Karen would use for that PD.
Oh, and there's a lot of that ESSER 3 has a big PD element, right? Is that what you're getting at? Okay. Yep. Any questions about that?
I'm good with it.
You're good? Are you good, Jim? Up to
Yeah.
10,000 for that?
Yeah.
Good. Julia?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
And I just have one other question for the board, actually, and I spoke to the HASP people about this, but we are beginning our work with the Omega Images to start our video library of videos for our primary grade levels as part of our grant. We're going to put it together the Who Are the People in Your Neighborhood videos, and he'll be going out. So if the board has any recommendations of people within our neighborhood that we should capture on video as a career opportunity for our kids to look at, teachers will be able to pull from this library when they're doing units that might be able to fit. But I am looking for names of people in the neighborhood that would be willing, that are business partners with us, that would be willing to let us bring someone to do the videos and do a little script around describing what it's like to be in that career. So if you have any thoughts, you want to send them my way, please do so.
Great. Thank you. Yeah. So anybody has any thoughts, send them to Karen. Any other questions? Questions for Karen? All right. Thank you. Deb?
Thank you, Madam Chair. You have my report before you. I'd like to entertain any questions about the report, and then there's an actionable item on the part of the board that if we could treat that separately, I'd appreciate that.
So any question on Deb's report, and then we will discuss the tech plan that we have to, the amended tech plan to be approved. Any questions? No? No? Julia's no? You're shaking your head? All right, so then the tech plan, Deb?
Okay, so as I addressed in my report, due to my impending retirement, I do not feel like it is fair to have a committee get together where the director of technology is the expert in the field, so to speak, and bringing some of her own expert opinions to the committee, and expecting a new director of technology to have to live with that plant for 5 years. And I had a long conversation with Wayne about this earlier this fall. And I did meet with the technology committee, and they were in agreement as well. So we came up with this 1-year extension, if you will, of our current plan that is before you, that I would like to have you approve for the 22-23 school year, with the understanding that, I'm sorry, but we're already having to make an amendment to it. The committee and the A team approved this, and since that approval process, through the budgetary process, we have removed item 1 on the list, which was the desktop replacement for office staff at the SAU and HES.
25 computers, and in order to help with the budget, that is a cut that was made, not really willingly by me because the two bodies approved this, but everybody has to take the turn as far as helping with the budget process. I feel like it's a little bit of a step backwards. We had a pretty good run of a 4-year replacement cycle. And as you know, I've been here for a long time, and it took me a while to get to that point. But I understand, and I've always understood, that we ask a lot of the townspeople, the taxpayers in Hinsdale. So the A-team asked, I offered to the A-team to have this put off for another year with the understanding that hopefully the next group, the next committee will bring this forward and try to get this back into the budget again. Because these are people who are sitting at computers every day doing all their work on them. So that would be a slight change because of the decisions we've all made around budget.
Okay, thank you.
I guess the other piece, and I think Jim brought it up at the meeting in November, Justin reported to me related to item number 2. Item number 2 will stay on there, but it will be paid for out of ESSER funds. It won't be out of district funds. The two replacement printers that have for 250,000 copies on them.
Yeah.
Okay, so that will not impact this budget that you just passed to go on to the budget committee.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Deb about the amendment to the tech plan or the amendments to the amendment?
Nope.
No. Julia, any questions? Sean, did I see you? No.
Yeah, no, I don't have any questions.
All right. So then we just need a motion to approve that as amended.
Yes, I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. Well, April can either way.
All right.
Sean, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
I'm sorry, I really am not doing it to you.
No, it's not, no, it's, I just wait to say it right after everybody else so you hear me, that's all.
Yeah, thank
I'm doing
you.
that on purpose so you hear me say it.
Thank you very much. I'm laughing more at myself because it's just like, I don't know why I haven't meant to block against
No worries.
this. Sean pioneered it, so I'm just trying to get used to it, right?
It took a while to get used to. I had to
Yeah,
go through the RSAs and figure out what I had to do and then
remember to
get
do
the
it.
guidance from the state and all that crap.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd like to thank the board for making this happen so that the next person can at least have a place to start.
Yeah, and thank you and the committee for thinking of all that and, and making it easier for the future people there. Thank you. All right, so principal report. I think we have first. I think my packet got a little
High
out of
school.
order. Anne, right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You have my report, and I just want to say how grateful we are to have a full-time sub in the building. That's very, very much appreciated. And also to have a behavior interventionist on board. Because in my report, we started to work with the students, and it's under the guidance of Mr. Fleming primarily, because as you know, behavior is about changing habits, and that's a process. So I'll take any questions.
Any questions for Anne?
Yeah, so I had a question. The last paragraph, you're talking about student athlete who's going to be on Hometown Heroes. And so it looks like that's already passed.
You know, I didn't get to see this because I was still here that night, but my understanding is it didn't play.
That's what I was going to say, because most of the hometown athletes, those videos are available on MUR. And it goes back, there's, I don't know, a dozen more.
So,
and that hers wasn't on there.
They came in on the Monday prior to this and said it was going to air Thursday night at 6:30, and I thought, oh, good, but so I don't know when it is going to air.
Okay.
As soon as I know, I'll let you know. If she
Do we have any line of communication with them?
I haven't heard from them, so I'll ask Megan Roberts herself tomorrow. When are you going to be on TV?
Yeah, it would be good if we could get
Yeah.
a notice of that, because I'd like
Yeah,
to see it.
I would love to see it.
Yeah, because I don't think MUR ever comes out here
Yeah.
unless it's something big.
Right, yeah.
If they do, they're not talking to us.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so it would be really nice to have that available, yeah.
So,
And congratulations to Megan.
yeah, she's a very well-rounded, balanced student, and that's really nice to have.
Thank you. Any other questions for Ann? All right, thank you, Ann. Joe?
Thanks, Madam Chair, you have my report. Answer any questions.
Any questions for Joe? No, no questions for Joe?
No.
No. All right, no questions, Joe, thank you. Wayne?
Madam Chair, you have my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Wayne?
No.
Wow, you guys are getting off easy tonight. No questions. Is it still snowing? Is it accumulating? Okay, anyway, that's all right. We're at the committee report, so here we go. Personnel,
Well, we'll do that in non-public.
health and wellness.
We have not had a meeting yet.
There will be one in January.
January.
I'm just not sure the date yet.
Great.
It'll probably be the week after we have our.
Okay, that's great. Now I'll hold off with that. Thank you.
Finance budget. So budget, like we said, we're gonna get the budget to them, and then the budget committee is going to meet on Wednesday to have our kind of first look at the school budget as a budget committee, Wednesday the 15th, and then I did tell them, we proposed the 5th, Wednesday the 5th, for them to come here and meet with the board and the administration, and they agreed to that, and we usually meet at 6:30, but they said since we have a meeting at 6 here for our budget stuff, they agreed to move, they offered to move it to 6. So that would be, I know, right? An extra half hour earlier is great. So we'll meet with the budget committee here at 6 o'clock. Budget committee, school board, and the cost center manager. So on the 5th of January 2022. And I think that's
Yeah, last year they wanted a breakdown of how many students each teacher saw each day. Should I be prepared for that?
No, that was Lisa, and she's not on the committee anymore. I did that, but thank you for bringing that up, because I did tell them, like, we're gonna give them the budget, on Friday, whatever it is. We're gonna meet as the budget committee on the 15th. Of course, not everybody's gonna have a chance to have really looked at it, so I told them any questions, as they're looking at it over the holiday, whatever, to send them to me and Dennis. I'll pass them on to Jody and Wayne, who can get you guys. So that way, if there's, I'm sure there will still be questions that night, but hopefully we can have a bunch of questions beforehand and be ready. So, yep, thank you. All right, staff development. And hasn't been anything? No.
Nope, nothing.
No. That's the same thing April just said too. Yeah, nothing. All right, legislation, NHSBA, Jim.
I don't have anything to report.
And neither do I. We still seem to be getting our school board journal magazines, and I've been getting other emails from and the national, so I don't know where that stands. All right, HASP. I wasn't able to make it tonight, so April.
We elected our group, I guess. I don't know what to call them. Especially.
Officers?
Yeah, officers. Thank you.
Oh, that was a good one for me to miss.
Yeah, I know. We tried to nominate you
I
for
was
chair,
just saying, right? Yeah.
but Joe took it.
Thank you,
So
Joe.
Joe's chair, I'm vice chair, and Marianne is secretary.
Great.
There was a lot of information, so I may or may not get it all right. For the 21st Century grant, they had their risk analysis report, which came out fine. The only points we got were because of administration changes and stuff like that. So we're good there. The Abbey group is providing snacks. So that's good now because they weren't able to before, but now something happened, which I didn't get all the details about. And that's happening for both schools. And they're having training with Eric Mann and a consult once a month. There's the middle school program has 51 kids in it, and the elementary school program has 116. So she's meeting her goals. They're trying to, and they'll be upping that program, getting more hopefully soon too as it builds. The bike club is having a very good time of it. They've got some bikes donated from Walmart, which they in turn fixed up and gave to the fire department to give out as gifts. So that was cool. They're also maybe looking into possibly going the middle school anyway, going on the rail trails for a bike ride in the spring. Because the kids have expressed having a little more adventure, I think, instead of around the school area. So that might be a trip that they do. And there was talk of a cast crew club for to help out the kids that were in drama that weren't able to do that last year, I think, to do that this year. So that's exciting. I think, have I missed anything? Anybody else that was there?
Karen covered her grants earlier.
Yes.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. All right, selectmen, mostly they, I've been there also as budget, so they've been working on town budget, different departments on the town budget with the budget committee. Jim, did you go to a meeting? I can't remember. Or no, we didn't because I went as budget, right?
You were,
Yeah, you were gonna, but then we had budget. Richard, do you have anything? Selectmen?
Yeah, you got a couple of minutes. I got three things.
Okay.
One was obviously I'm on the committee looking into the town and schools sharing the HR director position. We're still gathering information and data, looking to work towards the job descriptions, and we have another meeting next week. Second thing, I just wanted to let you know that if you haven't seen already, the selectmen did set the tax rate. It went down 4% overall. The town's portion of the tax rate went down 15% from the previous year. The schools stayed flat, so that's where the 4% decrease comes in, because obviously the school is weighted much heavier, much bigger budget than the town is. Even at that, the tax rate for the town of Hinsdale, of the 185 towns that set their tax rate, is number 5 in the state. The municipal tax rate, what we take to run the town, of the 185 towns, the municipal rate comes in at number 135. Obviously, there are 50 people that spend less, but there are 134 towns that spend more than what Hinsdale as a town did. The municipal school tax is the 5th highest in the state. Just want to point that out. Obviously, we pass budgets. I want to just gently remind everybody that that is a window to work within, but that on a daily basis, ongoing throughout that budget year, any dollar that you don't have to spend is a wonderful thing. Third thing, this March would mark my 30th year as a moderator for the school. And I've decided that 30 years is long enough. So I will not be running for re-election. I just want to let you folks know. I'll formalize it with a letter and that you can share with the folks, but just if someone else was looking to, jump in and take that position, I certainly want to make that decision early and let them know. And that's it.
Okay. Look, I have just a couple of things in response. Congratulations on 30 years. We will definitely miss you as moderator. Steve did also inform the budget committee. They had some questions about the HR position. So the budget committee got some information on that last night.
Yep.
regarding the school portion of the tax rate, I'll send you, just because I think you could benefit from seeing this presentation, from Andrew Walensky, and I can't remember his partner's name, that they went around in the state, and we put this out there on our website several years ago about property poor towns, and they had like, it was very detailed, very easy to understand, with the school portion of it and everything that's mandated in property poor towns and whatnot. So I think, just to give you a little more perspective in why the number is what it is for the tax rate on the school piece, because of everything that is mandated of us and blah, blah, blah. So I will send that to you. I think it would be good for the selectmen in general to watch it.
I'd be happy to look at it.
Yeah, thank you. And as far as, working within the budget and saving money, you'll see we turned back 466,000 last year.
Much appreciated.
And
Selected did too, as I think you heard.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't.
Where we had.
Exactly, yeah, we both turned back, but ours was like almost $500,000. We did benefit from some revenue. We did also, we are one of the highest schools in the state, districts in the state for grants, applying for grants. Like Jody, we didn't get this grant, but she drove over to Concord and hand delivered an application the day after Thanksgiving, and everybody else was on vacation. Jody went over and hand delivered it. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but that's like the type of commitment we do have. So we do get what you're saying, and I think we do a really good job working within that and turning back money. But we
And please don't misunderstand. I'm not criticizing.
Yeah.
Just as a basic structure like that. You probably, I don't think you were at that meeting, but when we did set the tax rate, we put the 5% aside that we have to statutorily, and they got 100,000 left in the overlay. And I felt that 5% is there. That's more than enough for that. And so the 100,000 went back, pay down the tax rate.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, I hear you. And I didn't take it as criticism. I just want to point out that, I totally agree with what you're saying. Yeah, we all agree about finding every money and not, spending and.
Sure. And,
yeah.
And I know exactly what you're talking about on town, different towns and the selection and so forth. But obviously Hinsdale isn't the only, community in the state that has those restrictions.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But it is a worthwhile, I would think. We've all seen it. Sean and I saw it in person.
Yeah, it was great.
And
It was a great presentation.
A lot of us have seen the video. It's a really very interesting presentation. So I'll get your email and I'll send that to you. So great. Thank you very much, Richard. Let's see. So facilities.
Yeah, so following the same line of talk about money and money that we don't spend and money that we could spend. A lot of this discussion regarding facilities occurred last week at the budget review. But the benches or bollards, as they noted, is one thing that we're looking to see if we can't use, and that would be an option if we're going to have to turn money back to the state. Rather than do that, can we improve the safety and the outside learning space within the district? And it started off as a very simple conversation at the facility meeting. It kind of broadened out from there at last week's budget meeting. My thought originally was just to have it out in front here by the library. I think that was positively received by the high school. Joe also expressed an interest too about if we were to do that, maybe we could apply that same strategy to the elementary school. And I think you thought about an outdoor space, the police and stuff like that, meetings out there and stuff like that. So I would turn it over to Joe if you could just, because we had our conversation kind of after the facility meeting. So if you would just want to express your thoughts on that, it might be good.
I think that the area in the back of the parking lot is easily accessible by vehicle to get to the addition area, and that we could create some outdoor learning spaces in that area with the use of some benches, as well as that somebody could easily drive up where dismissal is. So some bollards in that area would be good, but the idea around benches being people would use them while they're waiting for their kids to be picked up too.
Yeah. So there's it serves multiple purposes. So again, put that out there as an idea that we can use if we have the money and the ability to do it. And if we're going to lose money and we have available funds, I think that's a great idea. Also on the same note, regarding money and trying to save money, we looked at Sean's maintenance person as part of the budget discussion. That was also discussed at the facility. So there were some changes made to that original concept, and the bleachers as well, which we think will be a warrant article, I guess, what we agreed. So that's another way that we're trying to manage the town's contributions to the school. So that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jim. Community connections, April.
I have made the list of questions pertaining to the staff in this district to give to Anne. I meant to bring it with me so you guys could see them, and I forgot it, so I'll email it to you when I get home, so you guys can see them. If you have any questions about or any adds to it, you can let me know. And then I could send it to Anne, and she could send it. I want to make sure she's able to send it to everyone, not just teachers.
No, it goes out.
Okay.
We have HSD, HSD, so it goes out to everyone.
Perfect. Yeah. And so hopefully right, yeah. So hopefully we get, you know, a lot of responses, so I can highlight those people on our community connections page. That's what I'm working on.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I think that's going to be, I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you have seen SAU 29. We kind of use that as our kind of example where they'll have a picture of the staff member, and it could be their yearbook photo if they want, or them with their dog, whatever.
Yeah, if they want to submit a picture with an attachment with their response, they can, and I'll use that picture.
Yeah, and then, I mean, we won't publish all the questions, but just, you know, pick whatever, like, you know, what do you like to do in your free time, or this or that, or whatever. So I think that'll be really neat for the community to see our staff that way. And all the staff, like you guys, principal, you know, I'm sure they'd want to see stuff about any of you, so. And
I think it's just a good way to kind of try to bridge the gap too between the community and the school.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. So thank you, April and Anne, for working on that. Thank you. And April spearheaded it, so thank you very much.
Thanks.
The tuition committee, we haven't done anything with that. Behavioral support.
So we met, Eric Mann was able to join us via Zoom. So it was a pretty good meeting. We talked about some of the different obstacles that we're facing as far as staff, students, and parents. Like we're trying to get like some set agenda items. And we're, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Ann and Joe, but I think it worked really well last time when you're kind of breaking it down to, okay, like what are the hurdles that we're seeing with students? What are the hurdles we're seeing with staff? And then with parents, kind of break it down a little bit. And we were kind of actually seeing some commonalities in some of the different groups, which I thought was interesting. But the district-wide committee is taking December off. The 2 building levels are still continuing for December. And then we're going to meet again in January. So for me, right, I'm kind of playing catch up because I'm kind of jumping in. But it seems like things are going in the right direction. Sarah and Tim are working with some of the teachers one-on-one that are having difficulties with not doing the program, but how do I, it's like, how do I work this into what I do? Like this is a new thing, right? So how do I incorporate it? What's the best way to do it? How do I do what I'm doing and do it better and do it with this, so everybody's working together really well to try to figure that out and give extra support to staff where it's needed too, because that's how we're going to help the kids out. But Anna, Joe, if you want to jump in and add anything, that's.
Eric Mann in the training yesterday said something really powerful about how in an SEL post environment, which is what we're trying to be, support emotional and social learning. It's not about a lesson, it's about a way of being. And I think he is really a profound and powerful teacher. He's wonderful. So we're grateful.
Yeah, and we're moving forward with a survey next Tuesday that will be, excuse me, will be done by our staff, all staff. So I'm anxious to see where everybody feels like we are kind of at the midpoint here, and then we'll do it again at the end of the year. So, so things are moving ahead, and, you know, I think with the advisory or whatever you call it at the middle high school and the morning meetings at our school, it's showing some positive results.
Great. Great, thank you guys. Joint loss, I think we're meeting in January, right? Sometime probably. I know I have it in my calendar. All right, citizen comments, Richard? Since you're the only citizen here.
That's all I had to say.
Awesome, thank you very much. Anne, if you can ask the Zoom people.
iPhone. Okay, Teresa,
I'm all set. Thank you very much.
Donna.
I'm all set, thank you.
Okay, that's it.
All right, great, thank you.
Tomorrow night on WMUR. Tomorrow night.
iPhone.
Yeah.
Oh, yay, thank you, iPhone.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I know, it's so weird.
Thank you, bot.
No, honestly though, we're just laughing at the iPhone, but thank you very much for telling us that, thank you. All right, now I just need a motion to go into non-public.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Roll
Have a good
call.
night, folks.
Night, Richard,
Nice
happy
to see you.
holidays.
Thanks, thank you.
Do you say yes?
I seconded, yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
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 We need Ann just for a correspondence, and then the other item is personnel. We'll need Jody and Ann, but not Ann.
Yep. I think so, we do. Great, thank you, everybody. Happy holidays. I
Yeah.
don't think we have.
Happy
another-
holidays.
Yeah, we probably won't.
Right,
see you.
yeah.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. I know, isn't that crazy?
I know.